The Flagstaff Water Group presents this video concerning the 2015 Flagstaff Water Rate Study and the resulting water rate proposal. The video summarizes our assessment of the study and contains suggestions for council members who will review and ultimately vote on the rate proposal. As background, Brad Hill presented the rate proposal to the City Council in June 2015. It will receive public hearings in October, followed by first and second readings before Council in November 2015. Water rates are the fees charged by the city for the sale of water to different customer classes. In summary, they are developed by compiling all the anticipated operating and capital costs required to run the city water system for the next 10 years, then developing water rates that will produce the funds needed during the first 5 years of that period. Traditionally, the city does a new rate study and develops a new rate structure every 3 to 5 years. The Flagstaff Water Group has reviewed the current rate study and believes that it is deeply flawed and represents a huge missed opportunity to enhance water conservation in Flagstaff. We believe that council members should reject the initial proposal in order to obtain improved options. Problems with the rates proposal are grounded in the fact that it's a business-as-usual document with no new conservation initiatives. In fairness, the council gave the Utilities Division no other guidance in advance. Specific problems are that, first, it fails to implement the benefits of tiered rate conservation incentives for commercial, institutional, and multifamily customers. Second, it changes residential tier breakpoints in a manner that actually decreases the number of households with an incentive to conserve. Third, it fails to implement tiered rate conservation incentives for reclaimed water, despite the fact that the city has already overcommitted its reclaimed water supplies in critical months of the year. Fourth, the underlying operating plan contains no vision or funding to expand the city's water conservation program. One effect is that the conservation rebates will likely continue to be exhausted by mid-year every year. Fifth, incredibly, the recommended rate proposal violates the city's own guidelines for debt service thresholds. Finally, our review shows that the consultant's data analysis is flawed in key areas and needs revision. As you've noticed, our criticisms of the plan focus heavily on a lack of conservation improvements. We need to take a moment to show why additional water conservation is so critical and so financially valuable to the city. Under 2 growth scenarios used by the city, Flagstaff will need major new water supplies in 14 to 19 years at present per capita water usage rates. The city's present plan for providing the new water is to develop Red Gap Ranch. The problem is that per the city's 2011 projection of a $268 million capital cost, not including financing, Red Gap Ranch is completely unaffordable. To see the benefits of additional conservation, let's look at what happens if we overlay a modest 0.5% per year reduction in per capita water consumption through enhanced conservation for the next 40 years. City calculations show that the need for new water supplies is deferred by an additional 9 to 33 years, depending on the population growth model. The exact numbers aren't important. The huge leverage of enhanced water conservation is the important message. What isn't commonly recognized is that such deferrals are worth a lot of money to the city. Per the graph, it's presently worth approximately $4.5 million to Flagstaff to achieve just a 1-year deferral of an investment of the size of Red Gap Ranch. It's worth $35 million to achieve the 9-year deferral provided by increased water conservation in the fast growth model, and well over $66 million to achieve the 33-year deferral provided by conservation in the slow growth case. In other words, financial prudence dictates that Flagstaff can and should be willing to spend considerable amounts on enhanced conservation in order to defer monster investments such as Red Gap Ranch. The analysis behind these claims has been validated with Barbara Goodrich, the City Management Services Director for Flagstaff. Conservation and the resulting deferrals have another big benefit. They give time for maturation of wastewater treatment technologies that will help preserve Flagstaff's healthy environment. Specifically, they'll solve contaminant issues and allow production of potable water from wastewater, thereby extending supplies and meaning that Flagstaff may never have to develop Red Gap Ranch. Such technologies can be installed at the time of the regular renewal of Flagstaff's wastewater treatment facilities at a cost dramatically less than Red Gap Ranch. The Flagstaff Water Group believes Red Gap Ranch should be maintained as a backup plan, but that there are many other more beneficial actions that the city should take first. Back to the present rate study proposal. As a council member, how do you plan to react when the rate options are open for discussion in October? We recommend that council members reject the present options and ask the utilities director to return with alternative proposals that 1. Implement tiered rate structures for commercial, institutional, and multifamily customers. Note that a full system may need to be phased in over time to avoid undue impacts on some customers. Such issues can be solved. If Prescott and Sedona can do it, Flagstaff can do it. 2. Implement tiers for reclaimed water as well. Reclaimed water has value for aquifer recharge and wildlife, so reclaimed water shouldn't be wasted. Besides, the city has already overcommitted its reclaimed water supplies and is likely to be asked for more soon by the proposed Little America development. 3. Include a boost in funds for an enhanced water conservation program that, among other things, will make conservation rebates available year-round. We urge you to request that the Utilities Division coordinate with the Sustainability Division to develop the vision and funding requirements for the program. 4. Restore or reduce residential tier volume breakpoints in order to maintain or increase the number of customers who have an incentive to conserve. 5. Provide a wider continuum of choice between the 3% and 7% average rate increase options, and define the impact of each relative to city debt service thresholds. 6. Request that the rate study consultant works with the city to correct errors in data analysis. The Flagstaff Water Group can identify the issues. This is a tall prescription, but water is vital, and it's time for the city to get it right. California's water issues ought to be an adequate wake-up call. It's not clear that the present consultant has the capability to do this work in a reasonable time. As council members, we suggest you ask the utilities director to evaluate how quickly he can do this, whether it can be accomplished with the existing consultant, and to consider whether an interim rate increase may be required pending completion of an improved plan. As a quick addendum to this video, we'd like to add one chart to illustrate our claim of flawed data analysis by the consultant. As shown, when computing the customer impact of changes in tier breakpoints, the consultant failed to throw out zero consumption records, most of which are from vacant homes. This skews the analysis. As council members, we hope this video helps you develop your response to the 2015 water rate proposal. Members of the Flagstaff Water Group are happy to discuss your questions and to share additional information at your request. We'd also welcome an opportunity to show you our water and conservation models, all of which we're happy to share with the city. Please contact any one of us for further discussion.